Whenever people talk about the Uncharted series, they rarely mention 3. And when they do, it's about that stupid shadow puzzle. But what people don't realize is that Uncharted 3 is a great game. Although it isn't the best one in the series, it's most definitely better than the first. Well, let's get into it. So there's a bar fight. Nathan Drake has a ring and this British dude named Talbot has money. Money turns out to be fake, so they fight. Then Drake and Sully get shot and die. Some Karen named Marlowe steals the ring and drives off. But then the dude who shot them was revealed to be on their side, and the gun was filled with blanks. So then we get a flashback of Drake as a 13-year-old, and he steals a ring from a museum that used to belong to his ancestor, Francis Drake. Drake finds a decipher that he can use to translate text with the ring as a key. They learn that they need to go to some places. They go to France and complete some puzzles, and then they get some prizes. Talbot finds them and steals their prizes, like the bully he is. The building they're in burns down, so they go to Syria, and find out that they have to go to Yemen. Cutter breaks his leg, so Chloe and Cutter stay behind. Drake and Sully go to Yemen and meet with Elena. She takes them to an underground dungeon place. They find 2 puzzles, one of them feeling like a clever accomplishment, and the other feeling like an absolute waste of 3 hours. They find a map and get chased by spiders and then leave. Drake gets shot with drugs and Sully gets kidnapped. After that, Drake also gets kidnapped and given to a band of pirates. Drake kills nearly all of them and gets on a cruise ship. After finding out that Sully was not in fact on the cruise ship, he sinks it. Eventually, he wakes up back at Yemen, and Elena takes him to a plane to intercept the caravan that is carrying Sully. Once he is on the plane, he shoots a few dudes and falls out. He grabs a box with a parachute and lands safely. Then there is a beautiful scene of Drake walking through the desert. Eventually, he finds a town. There's a dude who knows where the caravan is and plans to intercept it. Drake and Salim attack the caravan and Drake finds Sully. They go into a sandstorm and find Arama the Pillars, a giant hidden city with untold riches. Again. So Drake drinks some, and then Sully dies. Like, actually dies. Drake freaks out, and the curse of the thing happens. People with fire heads attack Drake, but he kills them. And then not even 15 minutes after Sully's death, it is revealed that Drake was hallucinating the entire thing and the fire people don't exist, and Sully never died. So the Karen drowns in quicksand, and the best boss battle of the entire series happens, TBH don't at me. After all of that, Drake leaves the city alone and sort of proposes to Elena, sort of. And that's the end. This is the best looking game of the original trilogy. It may also have the best level design of the entire series, but more on that later. Nathan Drake looks amazing in this game. He somehow looks a lot younger in this one than he does in the others. Maybe that's because his eyes are a brighter shade of baby blue than they ever were. His eyes were almost brown in the first game and are even darker in the 4th game, but in this one he has adorable baby eyes. Every character looks fantastic. They all move so naturally. Not only that, but the landscapes are absolutely beautiful. The desert level in particular is just a cinematic experience. Every little detail from the footprints in the sand to the waves in the ocean look outstanding. This game has some of the most fun and impressive level design of the entire series. It's one of the more fun to replay. Abducted Parts 1 and 2 are graphical wonders. Part 1 shows all of the items you can interact with in a wonderful way, and also the amazing platforming the series is known for. Part 2 is a vast open-world segment that takes place in a dock with a lot of boats and enemies. It also leads into the greatest Uncharted levels of all time. Cruisin' for a Bruisin' and Sink or Swim are 2 levels of absolute perfection. Never have I seen a better designed or more fun level in my life. Climbing on the chandelier, running in sideways cabins. It is just so much fun. They are absolutely glorious. These levels alone bump up my enjoyment of the game by 10%. Stowaway is epic in terms of scale. The plane crash looks genuinely amazing, and the hallucinatory desert scene is just absolutely stunning. Caravan is, in my opinion, a massive improvement to the Caravan level in Uncharted 2. The jumping between trucks and your horse is what us Uncharted players call fun. Just constantly jumping and shooting and fighting, it's just so satisfying. The Dreamers of the Day has the best final fight scene out of the original trilogy. Talbot was a developed villain. Drake's Fortune's boss fight was very underwhelming. Among Thieves' boss fight may have been the most fun to play, but Drake's Deception had the best spectacle of them all. This is a wonder to look at, and I feel accomplished every time I beat it. This game controls so fluently. The fighting was improved immensely. You can now counter punches, throw grenades back at enemies, and pull grenade pins while the enemies still have them in their belt. Every time you move Drake, it feels like you are controlling him, if that makes sense. Every little movement feels so natural. It's just so much fun to go at it. Most of the puzzles in Drake's Deception are very well made. Note that I said most. All of them are not too easy, and most of them aren't excruciatingly difficult. The first puzzle is fairly simple. Rotate the statues to match up with the positions they are in the journal. No problem, done in a minute. The next puzzle is a little harder. The journals have symbols written in it, and you have to walk on the tiles in that order. Not too hard. The puzzle after that can be a little confusing. You have to line up 4 symbols in the correct spots. There are tiles on the floor that reveal where to put them when you shine a torch on them. Not too difficult once you figure it out. Then a bunch of story happens, and there's another level with 3 puzzles. The first one is also fairly easy. Just line up a map with a few pillars and pull some levers. The next puzzle isn't difficult, just time consuming. There are 2 separate rooms you can go into. The West Wing or the East Wing. I'm going to be talking about the West Wing first. You have to find 6 gears to match up and turn. That's it. The East Wing is the most excruciating video game experience I've had in my entire life. There's a picture of a man stabbing another in the chest in the journal. You have to match up the shadow of a bunch of elevated mechanical body parts to simulate the man stabbing the other. Only problem, there are hundreds of places to put the light, and only one of them is correct. This puzzle took me 3 hours to complete. 3 consecutive hours! And I'm not the only person with this problem either. Thousands of other players have complained about this. No puzzle should be this difficult. It ruins the fun, especially when most of the game is intense shootouts. A stupid 3-hour-long puzzle feels really out of place. This game is way better than people give it credit for. Sure, there may be an impossible puzzle, and sure, this game is just an exact retelling of the second, which I now realize was my main complaint with Toy Story 3. But this game has so much packed into it. So many little details. You can kick crates! This game is worth your time. You definitely have to check it out if you have a PS3 or 4. Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception is one of the best games of 2011. This game is better on the second playthrough because by that point the stupid puzzle is hopefully engraven into your brain and you can get the solution fairly quickly. Play it, beat it, have fun guys, and stay safe.